welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'd like to show you how I make Greek yogurt in my Instant Pot. So we have fresh milk, a Greek yogurt starter, although you can use any plain yogurt starter as long as it has live cultures in it. It will tell you on the back, it will say live cultures. So this is what I do to get started with the yogurt. My Instant Pot's quite old, I've had it quite a few years, and it has a yogurt setting on it, but it doesn't have a variable temperature, so it's not any good for using with the probiotic yogurts such as Lactobacillus reuteri and Gaceri and the SIBO trio yogurts. It won't do that, but it will do very good, just normal, lovely Greek yogurt using fresh milk and a yogurt starter. To be clear, this is not the probiotic yogurts that I normally make, but this is just a very nice general yogurt to have. So we start by, the reason I'm using the Instant Pot is because it has a great preheating function so that you can heat the dairy to the temperature required, which is 80 degrees Celsius. And it will hold it there for a few seconds before it switches off. So I will heat the milk to the yogurt making temperature for the pre-boil phase in here, and then once that's finished, takes about 20 minutes or so. Once that's finished, I'll then cool it down by putting this inner pot into a bowl of cold water to chill it. So I'm just going to pour my milk in here. I think I'm going to use, these are 1 litre bottles. I'm probably going to make 3. Our finished result is going to be approximately half what I'm putting in at the moment, because we're going to be draining the whey out of it, and that will obviously reduce the volume of the finished product. And that's how you get your really nice, thick Greek yogurt. Just pour this last one in. Just about, it's just under it's about 1 inch off of the maximum line, so it will take 3 litres quite happily. So now what I need to do is, let me just adjust this down so I can show you what I'm doing. I'm going to press the yogurt function, and on this panel here where it currently says off, that will say boil. And now that will flash, I think it flashes about 10 times, and then we'll get a beep. Like that. And now that will heat the milk to the temperature needed to sterilise it. So I'll just pop the lid back on there just to keep anything out. And we'll be back in 20 minutes or so when that's finished doing. Okay, my Instant Pot has just beeped to tell me that it's reached temperature. So what I need to do now is take the inner pot out, put it in a bowl of cold water and cool that down. It's currently going to be at around, we can see that, yeah, it's 84 degrees, so that's a good temperature. A reason for doing it in the Instant Pot to heat the water is so that it won't scorch the bottom of the pan, so you don't get that burnt bit at the bottom. So I'm just going to take this out carefully because it's very hot, and I have a bowl of cold water already prepared over here. I'll just drop that in there. So that will now sit in the sink, and I want to cool that down to 40 degrees centigrade. And once it gets to 40 degrees centigrade, then we can mix the yogurt starter in and get it onto the yogurt program to make yogurt. It's going to take about, I like to do my yogurt for about 12 hours, just so that I get a good fermentation. I quite like a bit of sourness in the yogurt. If you don't like your yogurt too sour, then you can do it for anywhere between 8 and 10 hours, but you do get a much better probiotic effect if you can let it go longer. 12 hours is good, even up to 14 or 15 hours you can do. So we'll leave that now, and we'll come back to that in a while when the milk has cooled down for the next step. Okay, so the milk has cooled down to just under 40 degrees Celsius, so it's ready now for having the yoghurt starter added to it. I'm using this Total Fahey Greek yoghurt for my starter. Take the paper top off. And I'm just going to add it to a little jug to start with and mix some of the milk, the warmed milk, into it, which will just help to loosen it a bit so that it can then mix well into the milk in the pot. Just give that a bit of a stir just to make sure that dissolves in there. We're not adding inulin to yoghurt. We're not increasing the fat content of the milk, so it doesn't need the inulin to feed the yoghurt, because there's plenty of protein in the milk to feed it. Lactose. There's plenty of lactose in the milk to feed it. So now that's mixed in a bit. Stir that into there. Just as you would with any probiotic you're making, you must make sure all your equipment's sterilised first. So this went into the dishwasher earlier, just to make sure everything that I'm going to be using, this pot, the whisk, the jug, spatula, everything is all given a clean earlier in the dishwasher so that it's all done. Okay, that's about ready now to go into the yoghurt maker. Okay, so in my Instant Pot is quite an old one. It's the Model Duo 60. Has the yoghurt setting here, but I need to press the button twice to get to the yoghurt setting, and it doesn't tell me, unfortunately. A lot of the models do say yoghurt when you press the setting. Mine doesn't. So we've got our milk mixture with the yoghurt starter mixed into it, and I need to put the lid on. You just lock it, but you're not setting any pressure cooker. It's just locking it just to put it in place. Now I press this button twice, 3 times even, 4 times even. What I want to do is I want to get the line in the middle so that it gives me the number of hours. Here it says 12. I've already got it set to 12. It beeps, and that's it. Now that will now process for 12 hours, and that will take me to about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then at 8 o'clock, once that's finished, I will then go through the process of how we strain it to turn it into a Greek style yoghurt. Okay, our yoghurt's had its 12 hours fermenting time, so now I'm going to take it out of the pot, and we have a really nicely set yoghurt. Let me show you. Just get a spoon. So that's thick. That's amazing. Right, so we're going to tip this into a couple of sieves that I have prepared, and I'll just show you how I set those up. So I've got 2 here. We've got 3 litres of yoghurt to strain, and I don't think this is going to hold 3 litres. That might hold 2. So I've got 2 here. So what I do, I need to line the bottom. I've got coffee filter papers here. These are very good. You can just use kitchen roll. So I've flattened out a couple of papers. I just wish these were a little bit bigger. I should have to look for some bigger ones. But they'll go in the bottom. And then I have this fine nylon mesh. I bought this on Amazon. It's actually a mosquito net. If you wash it in hot water a couple of times, it really softens up, and it's really good for straining yoghurt. So this gets washed on a hot wash and let dry. You just shake it dry. The water just comes straight off of it. So just pop that. I've got a double layer here. You need a double layer, just pop that in there, and another piece here. If you buy the mosquito netting, it's such a huge piece, you'll have enough to last your lifetime. And into there. Now, I need to now just, if I break this up a little bit, this yoghurt is so thick, I don't think it's going to pour out. I need to just break it up. Actually, as I'm stirring it, the whey is starting to loosen up. I can see it floating around in the pan. So we're going to tip that in. Try to keep the mesh in place while you do it. That one. And that one. And you need to really do this while the yoghurt is still just warm out of the machine, because then the whey will separate very easily. It's still going to take a couple of hours to strain all this, and we're really aiming to reduce this by about as close as we can get to half. So we've started off with 3 litres of yogurt, of milk, and we want to end up with somewhere around about 2 litres, 1.5 to 2 litres. So I'll pop a tea towel on top of these just to keep any dust or anything out, any creatures that might be interested, like my cats, for instance. And then we'll come back in a couple of hours when that's drained, and we'll finish that off. Okay, our yoghurt's had a few hours to drain. So actually I left it about 4 hours, I think. And so we have quite a bit of whey in the bottom of these bowls. Let's have a look, see how much we've got. So that looks to be that's about 1 litre of whey that's come out of that. So we're left with 2 litres of great yoghurt. So now what we need to do is transfer it from the sieve into a bowl. Just lift this out. If you can leave this draining much longer than this, you can actually leave it for days. If you probably need a slightly smaller amount than this, but in a mesh like this, if you can hang it, I've done it by hanging it underneath a kitchen cabinet above a bowl to catch the whey, and you can leave it for several days, and it will eventually, the whey will eventually drain out, and you'll end up with a beautiful soft cheese that you can mix with herbs and some nice sea salt and fresh ground black pepper. But anyway, so we're just making yoghurt today, so now we need to just remove the coffee filter from underneath, and now I'm just gonna basically just tip this out, and you can see how thick, how absolutely thick that is. It's amazing. Let's get the other one. Right, take the coffee, oops, that one's a bit wet underneath. Take the coffee filter off and just tip it in, and that's it. Amazing. So that is very, very thick Greek strained yogurt, much thicker and richer than you would buy in a supermarket. If it's too thick, you can just stir some of the whey back in to let it down, but this is such a treat, and it's so good to have it. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed my video on how to make Greek style yogurt, and I hope you have a go, and best of luck with it. Let me know on the Facebook group if you have any issues.